you're watching a guy who is still building. That's how I'm gonna probably end it. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But today, what I wanna, you see what happened today? Today I got a new cloth. Oh, there goes my hat. Golly, this is a whack intro. All right, well, we're gonna go with it. We're wearing merch today, and we're talking about. Here's what we're gonna talk about today. You ready? We're gonna talk about ownership. Why? Because ownership is the first pillar of my Relento method. The Relento method, that's right here. The first pillar is ownership. When you take ownership of your life, that is the moment in time that things are going to change. Because when you don't have ownership, there's no guidance, there's no organization, there's no clear future on what you want to achieve. Now, don't get me wrong, you may have all that in your mind. Like, you may think that everything's set to go and you have everything in your head. But if it's in your head and you can't see it, like you can't physically see it, it's very hard for you to obtain it. You're telling me, I'm telling you because I've been through it. Like I said, you're not looking at a guy that, what did I say? You're not looking at a guy who figured it out. Because as a person, I'm still growing. I'm still figuring things out. I'm not perfect. And I want to be perfect, but I'm never going to get there. So I know that every day I have to try my best to grow in any sort of way. So again, ownership is what we're going to talk about, because I was thinking, when people start blaming, because again, ownership is taking ownership of your life, making sure that you're not playing the blame game anymore. I catch myself doing it from time to time still. This is why I'm rebuilding I'm rebuilding to the point that I have to keep on I have to manage my life. Right now that I said that, I have a backyard, and that backyard, I can mow it and clean it and have it super nice for the first week. When I maintain it, it's gonna be a whole week. After that week, within that week, it starts growing little centimeters, little not inches, maybe centimeters, but it grows every single day. Those centimeters start stacking up, and then the second week that I look out there, all of a sudden I went from having grass that was very well kept, right, neatly groomed, if I would say, and then it starts bushing up. And that's a situation that I was in a while back ago, before I came to South Carolina to fix my situation. Now, I had already fixed it in California, but I took it a step further when I came over here. That's why in TikTok and Instagram, I put a video where I said how I went to here, and then here, which is obviously the houses that I went through. I went from having my own little place, which again, it wasn't a lot because it was California. California has always been expensive. And I went from being in my mother-in-law's house to not being able to come out and stay out for almost 7 years, which was a downfall on my behalf. It was something that I had to live with as a father. Again, I have nothing against helping each other out. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that at the end of the day, you're supposed to provide and protect. If you're going with the Bible or religion, or if you want to have a foundation, I go with the Bible. And the Bible says whenever you get married, when the husband gets married, he's supposed to provide and protect to a certain degree. That's what it says. So you have to take her out of their parents' house, out of their surroundings, and start building your own home. And it comes to the three little pigs, right? The three little pigs. I don't know exactly. Don't judge me. I don't know the whole story, from front to end. I just know that it's based on 4 piggies, I think. And those first 3 piggies, they did their homes, but they didn't do a good foundation. Meaning, they probably built a very good home, but it didn't have the structure to face whatever came their way at any given situation. Because what happened? The wolf comes along and he says, "Come out, or I'm gonna poof and woof and blow your house away." Something like that. Again, don't judge me, even though you guys might. But so what happened was the 3 little pigs. Was it 4 or 3? 3 little pigs. Yeah, the 2 little pigs before that, before the one that made an actual good foundation, or actually made its house out of something sustainable, got their houses just blown away. the wolf did what he said. He was gonna blow the house away. And all of a sudden they went to the third little pig, and they said, "Here, let me in, let me in." So they let him in, and the wolf comes through, and he says, I'm gonna blow your house away." And I mean, I don't know if he said that, but he could have said, "You can try," because deep inside, that little piggy knew that the third house, sorry, his house. I'm all over the place. His house was the strongest one. His house was founded on bricks, on something that wasn't going to be super easy or very easy to blow away. So this is what this is what I was going through. I was going through where I got married. I took her out of the house, then I went back to my mother-in-law's house, and then I stayed there for a long time. And in that place, we couldn't get our. First of all, you have to have privacy. You have to have your own life, because then you have kids, and your kids have to have their own privacy to a certain extent. Meaning, you're trying to build a home, and when you have people inside your home, it's very hard to show your kids or your own spouses, right? Your husband or your wife, the what you guys want to build. Because if someone else is in that building, in your home, then it gives opportunity for whispers, for thoughts, and those thoughts can go and start creeping in, even though they don't want to, even though they're not doing it in a bad way. The thing is that if you don't if you don't mow your lawn, if you don't maintain your garden, right? Like for instance, my backyard, if I don't maintain it, it's gonna get to the point where all the weeds are gonna start going everywhere, and I'm not gonna be able to control it. Now, if I do want to, then I gotta do it early, and I have to maintain it. Because if I don't, then I can do it all over again, and you will, and people do, and I'm doing it every single day. But now it's a lot easier when you maintain it. When you don't let 2 weeks pass by and say, "Oh, I got to do it again," because I have my next door neighbor. He mows it I think he does it every week. But the reason is because he says, "I hate being in the sun. I hate being outside. So I'd rather take care of it right now, whether I have to do it in pieces." But he takes care of it more than I do. So therefore, his lawn is always beautiful, if I would say so. Because my lawn is here and there. It's good, and then it's not good. That's why I like winter. When winter comes, because all you gotta do is mow that lawn one time, and then winter comes and it stays like that. So again, but that's the easy way out. That's me trying to avoid. See, perfect. When it goes into winter and everything falls down and everything, you do that last cut before that cold starts. Before the cold starts, you have to start conditioning your mind. I have to do something that is gonna allow me to remember, or allow me to continue doing like a maintenance type of thing, to the point that when winter ends and then comes what? Spring? Winter, spring. Yeah, I think it's spring. When spring comes along and then it starts growing out again, then you've already been doing something that is gonna take over when the grass is ready to get cut. You're just gonna transfer. You're just gonna transfer the cutting the grass, doing whatever you were doing inside, and then you're gonna do it outside, right? So ownership is something that I took it very serious. There was a point in time, again, in my story, there are certain times where there was a lot of little moments that ownership had to pop up, and I had to think about it, because I didn't take ownership until the very last 7 years. Like until the 7th year, that's when I took ownership, and that's when everything changed for me. Why? Because then in COVID, it was the best time for me. It was the best time for me to move out of the house, because again, for some people, the pandemic was a disaster, or it caused certain situations that were not that great, right? And I feel for them. But for me, even though it was a situation where you had to adapt, I was using it to the best that I could, to the best ability, to the best of what I could use it for, right? So for example, in the pandemic, I was able to move out of my mother-in-law's house. I was able to grab my family and give them a little studio. It was like a 1 bedroom, but it was a very small bedroom. Like I could literally, my wife and I, we were sleeping in a full bedroom, on a full bed, full mattress, which bed frame. It wasn't even a queen. I'm not saying that you should have a queen, but queen is like the standard size right now. But it was a small place. It was the living room, and then it was the little small kitchen, and then a restroom, and then a room. And my daughter was living, my daughter's room that I created, that I converted, was they had a little laundry room. It had a door. I put a wooden sheet on the door. I secured it, and then I measured it, and it was perfect for not perfect, but when I put the sheet, another sheet, I built like a little tower, and I put the sheet on top so I can put the mattress on the little space there. Her room was a laundry space. Now, was it what I wanted to give my family? No, but it was a start of giving something that I was able to provide. Because when I moved over, the rent was something that I could have done it with one income. Because like I said, California, unless you get somewhere in and you get in fast and you have a good job and you can pay it, then you're fine, you're great. But if not, it starts getting, if you're not ready, or if you don't catch a good break, then it's gonna be hard. Now, are you gonna suffer your whole? No, because there's people in California that, even though they're living paycheck to paycheck, they love being there, and they survive. But that's where I was. I was in survival mode. And again, ownership is something that you have to do, and stop blaming fingers. Because at that given time in my story, in my 7 years, there was always a moment in time where I would blame the economy, blame the finance, blame the situation, blame. If you blame things, look what I'm doing. If you blame, you're giving authority, you're giving power, you're giving yourself, your energy away. Instead of saying, what of this is mine to carry? What of this is mine to correct? Because like I said before, if you guys follow my Instagram or my YouTube, people might do you wrong, right? This person might do you wrong. And their belief is that they did the right thing by getting mad at you because you did something to them that it wasn't the way you wanted it to be foretold, right? You didn't want it to be like that. That person doesn't know better, right? Your friend, your family, whoever it is, that person doesn't know better. So it's even when they did you wrong, the person that can take responsibility and take ownership is usually the person that can fix it. You say, what in this situation, what happened with me, what happened in this situation that made him or her think that way? Then when you figure it out, then you can say, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to tell them, hey, either you want to be friends, you want to still be friends, or we're still family or not. We're going to talk. If you want to talk, if you want to keep on talking or you don't want to keep on talking, that's fine. But I wanted to let you know that I think this is what happened and it got out of hand. And for there, I'm sorry. Or because of that, I'm letting you know that I just wanted to come forward with this. And then, from here on, I don't know if we're going to call it truths, or if we're going to go our separate ways or whatever it is. But you are the one that could fix it. Are you responsible for it? No. Can you take responsibility? Yes. So I like this video. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get the hang of this. Again, if this is the first pillar, this is something that I talked about in the booklet the ebook. It's a short book. It's like an hour read, but at the same time, it's something to get you started. Now, I'm gonna make a coaching package, not because I'm a coach, because it's something that I went through, that some people are going through in the same pillars people are going through, but in different clothing, right? Meaning my pillars could have been blue, and someone's going through those pillars purple. So it's the same thing. I went through 5 pillars that I was able to go through, and from being in point A, I went to point Z. And I was able to make it by crossing ups and downs and bridges and falling all the way down and having to crawl all the way up. And those are the things that people want to know how to do, or at least have some type of guidance. Because let me tell you one more thing about ownership. This is the last thing. This is how we're going to end the video. I'm going to probably butcher it, but you can get the hang of it. You'll understand what it is. And this is why sometimes we need a hand. We need that coach, not because you're going to get everything and they're going to help you and they're going to give everything to you. It's because you need it. Because, for instance, here it is, the story of a man that fell in a hole. This man was walking one day and all of a sudden he fell in a ditch, in a big hole, and he fell all the way down. It was a steep hole. And the story goes that a guy was when the guy in the well or in the hole heard some steps going through, he started saying he heard the steps, and he said, help, help. He screamed, help, help. And the guy that was up top, the steps that were up top, suddenly looked in the hole, and it was a guy, and that guy saw the other guy in the bottom, and the guy in the bottom looked up, and the guy in the top looked down, and he said, help. And then the guy said, up top, the guy said, I'm a doctor. When you come out of this hole, when you find a way to come out of this hole, come to me. I'll drop out. And he drops him a note. He drops him a note. And he says, I will take care of your wounds. I will do it without free of charge. And he said, and he left. And then time goes by, a day or two, or just saying, time goes by, and he hears more footsteps. He hears another set of footsteps. And at this time he's tired. He's almost giving up, and he's at the verge of, let me do something where I can, let me try it again. And he says, help, please help. And then the guy that's up top, the person that's up top, looks down, and the guy looks up. And the guy up top says, what happened? I fell. He said, I fell and now I can't get out. And he says, I'll give you a note. When you get out of there, I'm a lawyer. When you get out of there, come to my office. I'll do it pro bono. I won't charge you. Until I win, I will give you some of the profits. But I will help you out once you get out. And then finally he left. And when this guy was about to give up, and it was late, and he said one more time. He heard some steps. And he just said, this is the last time. If not, I'll die here. This will be my end. And the guy goes, and he's with his last words, his last effort, he said, help, help. And the guy that's up top looks down, and the guy down looks up, and he says, help. And the guy up top says nothing, but jumps down. He jumps down. And in the bottom, the guy looks at him and says, what did you do? Now we're both stuck. And the guy said, not to worry, my brother. I've been through where you are. I've been through it. I've been in this hole, and I've been able to crawl out, or to climb out, or to get out. And that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is the person goes down to help him. Now, am I gonna say that, oh, did I say that he's gonna help him and throw him up there? No. He found a way how to get out of the hole. So therefore, the person that came from up top down to him, the survivor, is gonna help the person that's trying to get out. He's gonna help him get up, find a way, however he did it. So again, that's ownership for you. That's just a little bit of what having some type of guidance, what having some type of direction can help. Because a lot of stuff can be done by ChatGPT, by who else is Claude, and all these AIs. They can all help, but the one thing that they don't have is experience in real life, and they don't have human emotion, human intelligence, or human emotion, and they don't have experience. So whatever they can tell you, they can hold you accountability to a certain point, because at the end of the day, that's a program. That's a lot of information gathered in one place that can show you how. But if it doesn't have real life experiences, it's going to be very hard for you to connect. But anyways, that's for the longer that's for the future. And when I say future, it's close by. But only those who want it, only those who actually need it, are gonna look for the things that I have to offer. As of right now, I have the merch. I have the shirts. I have the hats. I didn't put it because of the light, but I have the hats, and I have some stickers. You can see right there. There's some stickers. Other than that, that's how you can support me. I get paid. I get a commission. Again, I don't know if I had to say this or not, but with the links down below, you can buy something and then support me in what I do. And that way we can keep growing this channel together. Again, subscribe, like the video, share it if you can. And next week, we're going to go over the next pillar, which is commitment. Once you get your ownership, once you find ownership in your life, once you own it, and you say it's my, what do I have to do to move forward? What is mine to carry? How do I take ownership of my life? Now you look for commitment, that you have to commit to something, to how you're gonna get to Z, right? From A to Z. But that's till next time. For now, I think we are good to go.